Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Message of Hope. And today I have the pleasure to be with Liliana Bellini, who is in London, England. Welcome, Liliana. Welcome,
You,
Lily.
Martine. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for asking me to come along.
Well, thank you for answering the call. And I will ask you the same question I've been asking everyone is all this having this understanding, this inside out understanding. How does that help you navigate either the lockdown or COVID or any other stress that could show up in your life?
Mhm. Um, I guess it helped me in many ways, uh, at a very personal, intimate level, but it was also in my relationships as well, and in the relationship I have with health, physical health as well, mental health, and of course in my relationship with my family, because I have 4 children, adults, and 3 of them happened to be here when lockdown happened. So we hadn't lived together for many years, and suddenly we were in the same house, and then there was my husband Michael. And so the first lockdowns for us started with actually having the symptoms. And then we found out that we had it when we did the immunity test. And so that was very interesting for me, because I worked in the field of natural complementary health and natural health for 15 years before coming across the understanding of the three principles. So I have my way of helping myself, others, my clients, my loved ones, which is not very conventional. So I always want to look beyond what is being said about something. I want to hear more, and I want to understand it for myself, and then I want to make decisions on how to take care of myself or help others from that deeper place. So and when we had the symptoms, like many symptoms we have in the past, I did the same thing. I don't actually rush to get rid of the symptoms or take them away or relieve them. I just want to stay with what the body is saying, and I want to understand that. And having the understanding of the principles was even helped me with that even more, because I have a deep respect for the intelligence that the body has, and the body comes from that intelligence, and it kind of everything it does is a reflection of that. So I had a deeper, since coming across the principles, I had a deeper appreciation of that, even before COVID. So when the symptoms happened, it started to manifest for myself, my husband, and 2 of our children, I just kind of allow myself to be curious and inquisitive about it, and kind of listening to the body. And so I did that, and but it was strange, because there were symptoms that I couldn't quite place and couldn't quite understand. Nevertheless, I didn't actually panic. I only had perhaps 24 hours, and my husband was quite bad, where I really thought, what is this? What am I going to do? So I kind of felt, I felt scared. And that doesn't happen to me very often, not recently, especially, and so, and when you feel scared, you stop listening to your own intuition and your own wisdom, and you start wanting to listen to everything that is being said or everything is being offered from the outside. And then there was so much of it. There was like ridiculous amount, as you said. You started this calls because there was too much out there, and it's so easy to get lost. And I found myself for perhaps 2 days, okay, trying to come up with something that was going to take it away. Yeah, because there was so many frightening things that, you know, out there, that I thought I could actually lose my husband, you know, because, you know, his fever just wouldn't drop. He's, you know, he wasn't eating, wasn't drinking, it wasn't responding. He's a very strong man, he's tough, and I really never see him sick. So it was a really bad case of flu. That's what it looked like, with these other odd symptoms. And I watched myself going into that fearful place. And I think knowing what was really happening for me helped me hugely, because obviously I had something that was happening, which was a bit scary. But then there was everything else that I was doing in my own head about it. And and it's so beautiful, and that happens over and over again, not just about COVID, about everything else in life. You know, when you have seen something true about the nature of our experience through the understanding of, you know, of the three principles, through the teachings of City Bank, so through your own insights about it all, it's almost as if, you know, even without trying, that understanding comes up and kind of gets you out of that sticky, scary, or whatever place. So the same thing happened. I could so easily have fallen into panic with him, because I kind of recovered, you know, 10 days or so, but it was going on, and the options in terms of taking care of him were not many. You drop him at A&E, or you keep him at home, you know, and then if you drop him at A&E, you have to leave him there. Anyway, and then when I sobered up again, and I realized I just watched myself kind of almost dropping into, you know, serious anxiety and worry, and losing a sense of what to do to help him. I literally felt like I was pulled out by the understanding. You know, it's like a hand came and got me from, you know, and from my neck, and said, no, you're coming back, because you're no good to anyone when you're scared and you're worried or you're anxious. And so that's what happened. And then it's incredible that basic things that I wouldn't have thought of kind of came to me to do and to help him. And maybe he would have done it anyway, would have come back, and he would have, but I became practical again and pragmatic again, just because I saw that even if he was really sick, I didn't need to kind of stay in that state of fear. It's so practical, isn't it? Because you can easily indulge and think that there is some you know, there's something helpful about worrying, but there isn't. It's never helpful to worry, you know.
It shuts
Even
out
when you
part of the brain that can actually think. So yeah.
And with him, You know, do you think the more you love someone, the more you should worry if they're not well? That's crazy. I've done that so many times with my kids as they were growing up and they were going through their own things, you know, as young men. And I thought, oh my God, I love these guys. And I would stay awake at night. And I thought, you know, good parenting required a good dose of worrying. And, you know, that came with parenting, you know, and you had to be hands-on, you know, instead. It's been such a blessing to be able to let go, take my hands off my loved ones, and come back to the present and be present with them, and then have a sense of what to say or what to do, or you know, even if it's a small practical tweak that is, you know, is needed. So that was a big way, you know, COVID and pandemic kind of experience started together. Virus, you know, we were like in March we had it, so right at the beginning. And then we were together for the 3 months, and we stayed together. And it's sometimes I feel a little bit bad to say just what a beautiful gift that was, because I know many people suffered and many people were not as fortunate. But for us, it was like, hey, where did this time together come from? You know, it felt like a beautiful gift and there was such quiet. It was a quiet space for all of us, even if it's 5 adults in one house, you know, with an harmony that I don't think we've ever experienced that degree of kind of, you know, being happy together and respecting each other's space, and then coming together and exchanging things and learning from each other. You know, since we live together, my kids have grown up even more, so they've brought their gifts, and I am sure that because of what I know about how we get to experience life through the power of thought, and how behind that we are beautiful, perfect beings, you know, these two very simple, beautiful truths, you know, I'm sure that made me just stop and take it all in and be present and appreciate what that really is, you know. And then it made me shut up many times and listen to them, you know. I could just sit back and watch them cooking and learning new recipes from them, and putting music on and laughing. So I don't always talk about this because, you know, as I said, many people might have I know that many people suffered, but it could have been different if we had given in to worrying or needing to know what was coming next, having to know and having solutions and answers. And I watch myself sometimes, you know, wander and going off into, you know, exploring theories that were going around out there, and it was such a jungle that you can easily lose yourself, and then you miss out. I would have missed out on this gift that came into my life of presence and connection with my loved ones. But I was able to watch myself wander off and then allow myself to come back and really take in the gift of presence and the gift of connection and love that was there for me and for all of us, and then share it even without talking about it. you know. So that was I mean, the whole lockdown, it can be seen as a metaphor really for life, you know. It just that it took us, that it was a forced, almost imposed isolation from our normal kind of day-to-day life. And whatever happens in life, we can experience it in so many different ways, you know. And for me, it was just a massive reminder of that, the lockdown, and then the COVID, and then there was so many gifts, and I could be here all night telling you, you know. But you know, the relationship that I rediscovered with my dad, who has Alzheimer's, amazing, you know. This guy is never like in the present moment. I mean, he is, but not, you know, not here and where you know, there is, you know, he thinks is in the past always, as and so I started to call him FaceTime. He was in Italy, and I would just meet him exactly where he was, appreciating him beyond the fact that obviously he thinks, sometimes he thinks he's 6 years old, sometimes he thinks it's a young man, 25, and sometimes he doesn't recognize me. But it's such a beautiful connection I have with my dad now that I thought I'd lost. But it was in that space where I was open to see something else about life, or I was open to just see that what I already kind of had a sense of is true, you know. It's not just a nice theory, you know. We are you know, part of this deeper intelligence, and we are perfect, and you know, even with Alzheimer's we're still intact. That that could sound like a nice theory, but I really had a chance to see that that's true, you know, in a deeper sense, because I'd seen it in so many different settings and circumstances with so many different people. With Beyond Recovery, we worked with like 600-700 individuals, you know, and so I've seen it over and over that it's true, and it's true for everyone, you know. But during lockdown, there was a gentle, really gentle, soft feeling about it that made me more open, even more open, and made me stop and relax into it, you know. And and I think that's always possible. It's not just about lockdown, or, you know.
It's true.
It
The
is
lockdown
always
was
possible.
equivalent of Control Alt Delete, no? When you want to shut down and reboot, the lockdown was kind of a rebooting and seeing things new.
That's right. And that's always possible. So it's like, it's worth remembering. It's worth remembering, you know. We should just say, you know, it's because it never depends. I mean, we always say that it's never about what's going on outside. It's about what's going through our minds, you know. Yes. What kind of thinking, what state of mind we're in, you know. And why don't we want to check it out more often then? Why do we just talk about it as if it's another theory? Why don't we just check it out, and kind of, when we are in life and we feel uncomfortable, what is that discomfort about? Why don't we get more curious about it, you know? And if we do get curious and we play with that a bit when we are in life, it just opens up more opportunities, more experiences of the same thing. And so I think it was just another opportunity for me to see it in a different, new, the big word is unprecedented, but it's true. We've never had that. But it's interesting that you hear people having similar experiences as me, and then you hear people having a completely different experience of it, even if they didn't lose anyone or if they didn't get sick, they go very depressed. And that in itself should make us a bit curious. So, the situation out there is the same for everyone.
Yeah, it's
So
never the circumstances or the event, it's all the thinking we have about the situation. And
that's
it's
right.
made up 100% of the time. Yeah.
It's to just see that in life, when we are in life, it just has unpredictable, wonderful implications, because then it just opens up a whole, the aperture of our experience gets really broad and wide, and then we think, okay, well then why am I committing to this kind of experience? Why do I think is the only way I should be feeling in relation to that thing, that event, or that person who said that, or no, because the thinking we have about that can change in an instant.
True.
So it's been a gift in many ways. And now, this is the second lockdown. The boys, I've got 2 of the boys here, and my husband as well, but it has a different quality, doesn't it? Already, I don't know if you're in lockdown now. Are you?
Not as much as you guys know.
Yeah, but everything is a bit looser. It's a little bit, so I guess it's a different experience. But again, there is a gentle, I'm really still feeling the gentle quality of it, and allowing myself to be in that. And then I just founded I'm kind of putting together the social enterprise. So it's a bubble of time that is allowing me to do that. And to allowing creativity to come, so that can be developed and it can be created the way that feels right to myself and my partners. So that's again, it's lovely.
Well, thank you a lot for your wisdom. It was beautiful. Thank you
my
very
pleasure.
much.
You're very welcome anytime.
Grazie mille.
Prego.
If people want to find you, where can they find you?
Well, I am on LinkedIn and on Facebook and on Instagram, and I've got not 1 but 2 websites coming. Some of my friends out there, I've heard that before, but these 2 are really, they're going to be ready. So I will let you know the address, the email address, the website address, so that people can contact me on that. Otherwise, my email address as well, which is the bellinililiana@yahoo.co.uk.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lily.
You're very welcome.